Oregon and K2A5 FM, HD2 104.9 FM, Kennewick, Washington, La Gran X 94.1 y 104.9 FM, Latin Mix, una estación más de Alcon Media, LLC.
Hello, this is Ann Jordan here this morning with Connecting Community, and I am joined with guests from Cherrymore Charities, and their main event is Sue's Turkey Drive. So I have with me today Sue Flaherty and Sydney Kovis. We have the Vice President and Secretary, and as full disclosure, I am a part of this organization also, but we are interviewing Sue and Sydney today. Welcome, ladies.
Hi there. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
So we're going to take just a minute here and have you guys tell us a little bit about just a real quick, brief thing, and then we'll be back with more in just a minute. So tell me just a little bit about Sue's Turkey Drive.
Sue's Turkey Drive is an initiative for us to go out into the community and collect donations that we use to purchase full Thanksgiving meals that we then donate to our community.
Okay, so I noticed that we're talking turkey in March. So can you give me a little bit of a glimpse into why we're talking turkey in March?
Because of the size of the numbers, we are at 4,000 this year. We hope to collect enough donations for, and it's become an all-year, all-round work or pleasure, actually, an honor for me. I'm sure that Sydney feels the same way, and in order for us to be able to do this.
Absolutely. It was a lot easier to start in the fall when people start really thinking about Thanksgiving, when we were at, between the 700 meal mark when we started. Was it 5-6 years ago? And now this year doing so much more. I mean, we do more meals in one night than we did our first year now, and it's been amazing to see the growth, but that means we need to start a little bit earlier, hopefully getting in businesses' budgets a little bit earlier for sponsorships in the year. And we've got our Giving of Thanks Gala coming up soon as well, so trying to bring awareness, fundraising earlier in the year so that we can meet and reach that goal and really put everything out into the community that we're hoping for.
Okay, so I am Ann Jordan with Connecting Community. I am here with Sue Flaherty, the Vice President of Cherrymore Charities, and Sydney Kovis, who is the Secretary for Cherrymore Charities, and their main event that happens is Sue's Turkey Drive, and we are going to let the station tell us a little bit about itself and be back in just a moment.
Marcamos nuestra música, marcamos la pauta con nuestros locutores y ustedes nos marcan como los número uno. La Gran X 94.1 y 104.9 Latino Mix.
Okay, this is Ann Jordan here, and we are on the Gran X, station 94.1 and 104.9, and I have Sue Flaherty here with me and Sydney Kovis. So, ladies, tell me a little bit about your personal journey and how you ended up kind of with being part of Sue's Turkey Drive and Cherrymore Charities. So, Sue, let's start with you. What is your personal journey that got you to this point?
This was a blessing, I think, because what happened was I'm sitting one day looking at an ad thinking this would be a great idea to be able to buy some of these meals and to get them out into the community. And a friend of mine came in as we were looking at the ad, and we were talking about it, and he said, well, I will if you will, and he put down that first $20. And from that point on, at the first time that we came out into the community at 650, as Sydney mentioned earlier, we are at 4,000 meals, so that has been a whirlwind of a blessing in the years that we've been doing this. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. And Sue, do you want to talk a little bit more, too, about how kind of Cherrymore Charities came out of all of that? Because I know you have previous Turkey Drive experience as well, which is why you have been such an incredibly valuable resource with us doing this. But talk a little bit about more how that transition from, your previous life and previous turkey drives into what it's become today.
As Sue's Turkey Drive, right. Mm-hmm. Ann Jordan reached out to me, thank you, my dear, by the way, and said, hey, we want to bring this out into the community. What do you think? And I said, absolutely. And from then on, that going forward, Ann put together the nonprofit through Cherrymore Charities, and then we dropped in the Sue's Turkey Drive, and underneath that is the nonprofit that would do the collecting of the donations and whatnot for the Turkey Drive itself.
So, thank you. Yes, it's definitely been a group effort with the ladies behind Cherrymore Charities and growing the the group that we have that supports Sue's Turkey Drive. So it's been amazing to watch that grow. And in the Tri-Cities, a lot of people put Sue and turkey together. So if you're talking turkey, you're typically talking about Sue. Sydney, how did you come to be a part of this organization?
So I've known the other women on the board for quite a while. I'm actually Anne's daughter, and I've known Sue for forever and ever. She was actually, I worked with her at my first ever real adult job. And so I've known both of these ladies for a very long time. Well, obviously my mom since I was born, but I largely became a part of this because it was incredible to be able to see the impact that the very strong women in my life were having, and I wanted to be able to be a part of that. You know, not only with the fact that the actual impact that we're having, but we are actually a 100% women board of directors, and so being able to be a part of that for helping that grow, my own personal growth journey as a young woman, it's been incredible to be able to be such a big part of this. And also, I just love what we're putting out into the community. I love being able to talk about it and share it with people. And it's kind of amazing when I talk about it and I see people's eyes light up and this like, oh my God, there's something like that in this community. And it's been so incredibly grateful about how giving this area really is as well.
I agree 150%. Oh my gosh.
And I want to point out, not only are we an all-women board, but we are multi-generational. We have our boomer, we have our Gen X, we have our millennial, and Sydney, what generation? I don't know. I call you the I generation, but what generation?
Technically Gen Z, but we don't like to talk about that.
So we cross multiple generations, so there's a legacy of building it so that this will continue. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important to have mentorship and to have that growth in our board that can translate into the community to make sure that this is something that outlives. It's not about us, it's about what we can help the community do.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to try to do a station identification real quick and then we'll be right back. Thank you, ladies.
Canta poner música. La Gran X, 94.1 y 104.9. Latino Mix.
Okay, we are back here with Sue and Sydney from Sue's Turkey Drive, and let's talk a little bit about where this happens at.
So physical location for the actual turkey drive. So it's actually the week before Thanksgiving. We get everything together, all the food and everything we need at the Columbia Valley Grange over on Court Street in Pasco, which is another something that I'm also on the board of directors for as well as the treasurer. But so they've donated the space to us for the past several years, completely free for the use of that space during the Turkey Drive week. So we have been so incredibly grateful that that's been such a blessing, because I don't know that we would have been able to do it if we didn't have that opportunity there.
It's a good place to get started, to say the least. With the help of the Grange allowing us to do what we've done, they've let us use the inside and the outside, literally, because of the numbers and whatnot that we do at this point in time. We've had to have refrigerated trucks that's been donated to us that sit outside of the building. We've had boxes that have been donated to us through Lamb Weston. With all of the extras that come, we've needed that extra space, and I'd hate to say that at this point in time we might be looking at growing into a bigger space because we've gone into the bigger numbers. But with the logistics team that we've got and the rest of the people that we've got on our teams, it's worked every year, and I think we're going to be there for a while. Mm-hmm. I hope so, anyway.
That is amazing. And the community that is served is bigger than just like the Pasco area, is that right?
Yeah, I'd consider it the greater Tri-Cities area and then some. So we've got some that go out into
we go Walla Walla,
Walla Walla,
Mabton, Prosser, Grandview, Sunnyside. Yep.
So kind of greater Tri-Cities community. So not necessarily just sticking to one city, but expanding our reach as far as we reasonably can, while still making sure that we're fulfilling as much of the need at home as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I am Ann Jordan. I'm here with Sue and Sydney from Sue's Turkey Drive, and I think when we come back, they're going to tell us another reason that we're talking turkey in May, or in March. I think there's something about May coming up.
No somos nadie para mufarnos de otras estaciones, pero somos únicos. La Gran X, 94.1 y 104.9, Latino Mix.
¿Sabías que el jaguar era uno de los símbolos más importantes para los olmecas? Lo asociaban con la fertilidad, la fuerza y la conexión con el mundo espiritual. Sus esculturas y relieves muestran humanos transformándose en jaguares, un signo de poder y protección divina. Aprende más sobre tu historia en Alcon Media.
Hello, this is Ann Jordan with Connecting Community, and we are back today. We have Sue and Sydney, and they are on the board of Cherry More Charities, and their main fundraiser, the main event for Cherry More Charities is Sue's Turkey Drive. And what I'm learning is that now they have added a new event in May. So what is going on in May, ladies?
May, coming up May 30th, we have what's called the Giving of Thanks Gala. And this is a Tri-Cities Gala. We just want to put that out there. If you want to wear a tuxedo, you can. If you want to wear jeans, you can. But this is specifically a fundraiser to help us get a little closer to our goal for Sue's Turkey Drive. It's from 5, doors open at 5 o'clock, and it'll go till 10. We have a live band. Stony Lonesome Band will be there with us. We have a complete Thanksgiving meal, as well as some games. It's going to be a great night. We'd love to have everybody come. Tickets are available. We're selling tables as well.
And we're going to have as well several silent auction items, as well as at least one special live auction item and a raffle item, at least one that we've got going so far. So we are still bringing some of those in, figuring out what all we've got coming in for those. And then we'll have, so lots to win, lots available to donate to. So we're just trying to get ahead of the game, like I said earlier, with the volume that we're doing. We really need to get as much as we can as soon as we can so that we know we can meet our goal come fall. And so we've got the Thanksgiving in the fall and then Giving of Thanks Gala in the spring. So we're trying to keep just top of mind all year round if we can.
So my understanding is that allows us to talk turkey, like Sydney said, year round.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And who doesn't want to talk turkey? Why do we only have to have it one time a year?
There you go.
Yeah.
So part of the Giving of Thanks Gala is going to include people able to come as purchasing tickets. Mm-hmm. And then there's different events where they can also participate. Are they able to sponsor? Are people or businesses able to sponsor?
Absolutely. In fact, we need sponsors. We need sponsors for the band. We need sponsors for the event, sponsors for photography. So if you've got a heart like this group of mine does, we would love to have you be a part of this. And also, too, by the way, Sue'sTurkeyDrive.org is where you can go to make those decisions as far as for donations or volunteering. We're needing volunteers all year long as well, too. So Sue'sTurkeyDrive.org will get you in that place.
Absolutely.
So let's step back just a little bit and talk a little bit more about Sue's Turkey Drive, which is the why of the gala. The gala is to fundraise for Sue's Turkey Drive.
Correct.
So what is the mission, the reason for Sue's Turkey Drive?
We found a large niche out there that was not being served, if you will, or that was not serving themselves because of lack of resources to do so at Thanksgiving. We realized that Christmas was the big holiday, which truly it is, obviously, but Thanksgiving, I think, is just as important, and we wanted them to be able to celebrate both of those. So with that, that's why good reason why Sue's Turkey Drive was created was so that it gave us that ability to be able to help that group of people at the Thanksgiving to celebrate with the rest of us. Have those memories to take back to school. Have those memories to take back to work. Be able to share in what they were able to do for the holiday instead of not being able to and sitting off in a corner or by yourself because you don't have those memories to share with others and your family.
Absolutely, and it also helps take the load off of the stress of the beginning of the holiday season. So Thanksgiving, kids are out of school for several days at a time, and we do have a lot of people in our community who are very dependent on school-provided meals, breakfasts, and lunches. And when you've got, kids are out of school for an extra 2.5 days of that week, that can put a little bit of extra stress on. And if you're having to try and set aside money for Christmas, and then Thanksgiving is coming up. The idea is to help take the load off, or some of that stress off of the adults and the parents and the family at the beginning of the holiday season, to hopefully allow for a little bit more relief through the rest of that, as opposed to it just constantly being stress from November through January. Help to provide a little bit of reprieve there. And also, we are a little bit more unique in that we donate our meals to organizations, not directly to individuals. And there's a few different reasons for that. Largely, it is because it allows people to maintain another level of anonymity. A lot of people who are in need are already part of some organization or some group. They've already had to go someplace and ask for help. And this allows those places to then continue to serve the community, but it means that they're not having to then go someplace else and ask for more and feel like they're continuing to have to ask. It allows it to just be a give.
You're allowing the organizations to bless
Exactly.
versus someone having to ask.
Correct, exactly.
So it helps maintain the dignity.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. So and how many different organizations do you work through?
This last year, we worked through 73.
That's
73
amazing.
different organizations. Communities and Schools is one of our big ones, but we also had several other schools that were also in need. We were able to help them. But then you've got Boys and Girls Club, St. Vincent de Paul, Salvation Army, American Legion, a lot of our vets, a lot of our kids, a lot of our seniors. We've been able to touch everybody. It's been an incredible blessing. It's been an honor, like I've said earlier, in my life, to be able to be this person, to have spearheaded this and get this going where it's going, and then to have you guys come on board. So I know when I step back, this is going to continue to keep going.
That is the plan. So real quick, this is Ann Jordan. We are here on the Gran X 94.1 and 104.9, and I have Sue and Sydney here with me, and they are talking about Sue's Turkey Drive, which is in November, and then also the Giving of Thanks Gala, which is a fundraiser for Sue's Turkey Drive, which is May 30th of this year. And I don't know that we touched on this part, but I believe that there's ticket prices that are one price in March, and then maybe they change going forward. So you would want to, if you want to get the best bargain, you would want to get those tickets in March at suesturkeydrive.org. So let's talk a little bit about how people help the organization, how they volunteer. What does that look like? What does your volunteer level look like over the years?
As we've grown, so has all of the needs, and so have all of the numbers. Last year was incredible. We had almost 400 different individuals come and help us put these meals together and whatnot to get them out into the community. That was huge. The year before it was 196, I believe.
We more than doubled our previous year's volunteer count, which was just incredible to see. And we have lots of individuals that come, lots of people who bring their families. We've also had schools and sports teams, and also businesses that will bring employees. So as part of being sponsors for the event, some of our top tier sponsors get an evening of volunteering where they can bring people any night. We're happy to have them, but they get a specific dedicated night where they will often bring a larger portion of their team to come and volunteer, as a little bit of awareness for their business and their participation in it, which we absolutely love to see. We've had several of our larger organizations bring large groups of people, which has been amazing. And so how many people did we have? Like 75 people our first night of volunteering last year, and 80 the second.
It was about a 60 to 65, 75 average per evening.
Yes, which is absolutely amazing. And I know that seems like a lot of people, but
we had a lot for them to do.
We had a lot to do.
So I think Sydney touched on that every night, or most nights this last year, preparing the meals, you prepared more meals than you did and delivered the first year of Sue's Turkey Drive.
Our very first year we did 650, and we thought we'd killed ourselves that day by the time we got done, and yet we're to the point now, and it's all because of a lot of the volunteers and the volunteerism we've had. We are doing that many and more. We're doing 750 to 800 meals per evening, and so thus the number and the need for that many people in there helping us out each of those evenings to get it done.
And we've been able to grow to a point as well where it's actually gotten easier the more that we're doing because of how we've been able to refine and make things more efficient. We've brought more people in with more logistics experience who have been able to make things a lot easier and go a lot smoother. So even though we're doing so much more, we're breaking our backs a lot less, so to speak.
Absolutely. And with some of the other donations that we've received, because most of what we do get with our donations goes towards food, things such as the rental trucks from Enterprise Trucking. They've been loaning those to us. We've had a forklift donated to us. With all of the extra donations and whatnot, it keeps all the money going toward the food where it needs to be.
Okay, well, thank you, ladies. I'm going to let the station identify itself, and we will be right back with Sydney and Sue.
La Gran X, 94.1 y 104.9 FM.
Okay, I am back with Sydney and Sue from Sue's Turkey Drive, and we are talking about the event itself. Let's talk about the sponsors a little bit. I know that there's probably a number of sponsors in our community. Is that something also that you're looking for, is sponsors for the Sue's Turkey Drive?
Absolutely. We have had some very large, and I keep saying blessed, but we've been so blessed to have some of the people join us that have. Muzzy Custom Builds, I want to put a special shout out to these guys because they've been one of our big sponsors over the last few years. Auto Experts as well, our own Alcon Media, and Walker's Furniture. Mm-hmm. We've got some great people that have backed us and helped us out. GISA, we can't forget GISA Credit Union, the Hapo Credit Union, they've been with us from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So those are some of the sponsors that I can think of right off the top.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's a whole list, and if you look at our Facebook page too, we're often posting about those throughout the year, especially when we get closer to our having the sponsors that we do is such a big deal to us because we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing without them. Yep. And we've gotten to the point where we're getting these larger sponsorships, and we're looking at more grants and things as well, so it's becoming a little bit more involved doing all that fundraising. But it's just been, like I said earlier, amazing to see how truly giving this community is. And I know for a lot of people times have been a little hard, so things have been a little bit tighter for a lot of people, but we've still been able to meet and exceed our goals for the meals that we're providing and our fundraising goals every year. I don't think there's been a year that we didn't do more than what our goal was, Sue.
Yes, I'm guilty of that.
I think one year we had a turkey shortage and we adjusted. Yes. But that was at the very beginning when we found out there was going to be a turkey shortage.
Yes, at the beginning of the year we did bring that back, but then I think we still exceeded our goal, and then the next year, what was our goal?
We blew the goal away. Yeah. It was a 1,500 goal and did over, I think, 1,800, which now seems like such a small number compared to how many meals were provided into the community last year.
3,541
That
meals.
is amazing. So, and those mostly went to families, so you're looking at serving somewhere between 12 and 15,000 people.
Somebody just asked me that the other day, and to think about the number of people that have been touched, that's just last year. That's been amazing. 15,000, oh my gosh.
And the impact that has, you're delivering to organizations, and then they are blessing the recipients. Mm-hmm. Do you hear back stories of recipients?
We do. We don't hear back as often as we'd like to because we appreciate and respect totally the anonymity and whatnot that these people have. And so getting the responses back that we do from some of the organizations about some of the lives that we have touched has been very, very, very fulfilling. And it keeps me going. I know about the rest of you guys. I know it probably does too. Just hearing back from how it affected some of the kids from school or how it affected some of the vets, knowing that they have a meal and whatnot that they can depend on, and for us to be able to be there.
I know a couple of the stories that I've heard. My husband drives for BFT, and he had some young men, middle school age, high school age, talking how excited they were that their family got a meal, and they were able to have a Thanksgiving meal just like everybody else.
We had communities in schools. The kids were the same way there. In fact, it meant even more to them that they got to be able to be part of unloading and getting them ready to go to each of the families, being able to help with the boxes, and even knowing that they were going to take one of those boxes home. That excitement, that was beautiful.
Another one, I had a parent who is currently fighting cancer and wasn't sure how they were going to provide Thanksgiving for their family, and they were able to through one of the organizations were blessed with a meal, and it just made their weekend. They were able to have that in a time that they were suffering in a way that they didn't plan and that they were having to work through. Sometimes life happens to us and we have to work through all of that, and so it was nice to have that blessing. And one that just breaks my heart, a friend of mine told me somebody had reached out to her, and through one of the organizations she was able to get a meal to her friend, and this friend was concerned about a potential domestic violence situation, like that things were just not good at home, and being able to have that meal calmed things down. And that's not something we always think of, but sometimes the stress of the holidays can just be so much. And so if we can help just make things a little better and make things easier and give people a chance to breathe, and then sometimes they can work through things and people can get the help they want. Holidays are extremely stressful, and we don't always realize that it can be an increase in stress and an increase in financial challenges, which then leads to an increase in some negative things that can happen in families. And so if we can help avert that, you don't always think of that. You think of, oh, I'm giving you a meal because you need food, but sometimes you're giving the meal to help other situations, a social and family situation.
How true is that? So true is that?
And one of the things I'm going to talk here a little bit is Anne, as part of the board, that the blessings that this has. Oh gosh, I just blinked. Oh wow. So let's think if I can remember what I was going to say, and I'm going to ask you guys to jump in real quick.
Yeah. And like Anne was saying too, with the domestic violence situations, that is actually one of the organizations that we give to locally. And so it is, intended to be not just the physical food, but also kind of that mental and emotional reprieve, if it can be. And in regards to the volume of people we serve, one of the things that I was thinking about is the fact that Meals on Wheels is one of the organizations that we often give to. And so because they do break down and prepare those meals and give those out to individuals, there's even more potential for us reaching a larger amount of people because those are going out in more individualized meals.
And I just remember too, we do a Cops with Kids at Walmart, and one of the families that went through, because we do get to see them then, one of the families that went through when they opened up their box, one of their little boys, probably 8 or 9 years old, got super excited and turned and looked at his mom and says, "Oh my gosh, we get a turkey." That really filled my heart. That touches you in so many ways. And it's just the little things, but they all add up.
Thank you, ladies. That reminded me of what I wanted to talk about. It's the community. It's the sense of community. This isn't about politics. It isn't about why Thanksgiving happens, but it's about our greater Tri-Cities community all sharing in that meal. And like that little boy excited, we get a turkey too. We want everybody to have that opportunity, to have a sense of we're all sharing the same meal. Breaking of bread and sharing of meal is very important for community. And so if we can provide a meal and we can all have that same meal throughout the community, I think that's important for us to embrace having that togetherness and to be a cross-cultural joining together. It isn't about why Thanksgiving happened before, but Thanksgiving was supposed to be a celebration of community, and that's how we view it and see it, is that we want to celebrate our community and we want everybody to belong. We want everybody to feel like they belong and feel like they're part of something that's bigger than themselves. And whether they're having that meal by themselves that was delivered by Meals on Wheels, or they're serving it and this is part of a meal that's feeding 20, we want them all to feel that togetherness and that sense of community in that shared meal across the Tri-Cities.
That completely describes why we're here, connecting community. Very well said.
No. Well, thank you, ladies. We are still talking here. Let's identify the station real quick and we'll be right back.
No dejes que otras te engañen. Esta es tu estación, la Gran X 94.1 y 104.9 Latino Mix.
Okay, I am back with Sydney and Sue from Cherry More Charities. They are talking about Sue's Turkey Drive and the Giving of Thanks Gala. So ladies, for those who are just joining us on their way to work or wherever they're at this morning getting ready, let's recap what we're talking about. So Cherry More Charities is a local 501c3, and they have a handful of events. One of them is Sue's Turkey Drive, and it provides Thanksgiving meals into the community. The goal is to provide 4,000 meals this year, and they have in May a Giving of Thanks Gala, which is one of their fundraising events.
Yes, and that is on May 30th from 5 to 10 at the Hapo Center, which is something we didn't mention earlier, by the way.
Yep, Hapo Center, Pasco. So, and we are just so incredibly excited to see how much that we can put out into the community here. And, we talked a lot about the anonymity aspect, but like Sue was saying, the Shop with a Cop or Cops with Kids really is the one area that we get to actually see the faces and see the people. And a lot of people in our organization do have a lot of value in that. They love being able to see those responses. And so it is nice to be able to have one area that we can do that, even though, part of it is the anonymity aspect. And so we can see definitely the importance of both.
Right.
But the ultimate goal is just food and bellies and making sure that people do get to be a part of something bigger and part of that community aspect.
Such as the Giving of Thanks Gala.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
With that coming up.
Okay, ladies, I just had a coughing session. I'm skipping it, so if you heard that, I apologize. But I want to talk a little bit about the challenges of nonprofit and or the challenges that you are particularly facing this year.
Say turkeys are usually our biggest.
It is too. We never know what we're going to face each year. Something is a little bit different. We call them our game changers. Mm-hmm. And somehow we just pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and we just keep on going.
Mm-hmm. I know 1 year volunteers was a challenge, and we actually had Anna and Caitlin from Business Inspired Solutions helped us with some of our online stuff, and we were able to kind of change how we had volunteers sign up. And
let us just say, as you're bringing that up too, thank you, thank you, thank you. They have been a huge, huge help, huge support in getting the turkey drive off the ground and keep going. And
not just in the social media aspect too, but in the aspect of other connections.
Yes, they have been a great help, and I attribute that to part of our doubling of the volunteers that we've had. Because that was a challenge at one point of trying to get the word out when we needed them. And sometimes we would have a really big turnout one night, and then people would be like, oh, there's enough people, and then the next 2 nights we would have less. So with the way Anna helped us organize things, we were able to have people, enough people through all of the different events that we have.
Absolutely. And during the day, volunteers used to be one of the biggest issues that we used to find, and I think with how we've adjusted things logistically, been able to reduce the need for the during the day volunteers. So that's made things a lot easier as we've kind of been able to streamline things. And so that is kind of, a challenge that we used to have, that it's so difficult to get during the day volunteers. A lot of the people who are available during the day are retired, and so the physical aspect of having to move the boxes was a little bit harder. But now that we've, for the most part, we have things on pallets and we're able to deliver things in a lot more streamlined way, it makes it a lot easier and has kind of almost nullified the need for the during the day volunteers. But the during the evening, really preparing and putting together those meals, the way that we've kind of restructured, instead of just having one line of things getting put together, now having two, we really need even more people than we've had before.
And I think we've capitalized on learning that corporations sometimes give volunteer hours to their employees. And so that reaching out to the different organizations that allow that, like we've had Camping World has had volunteers during the daytime on a regular basis that has helped us out. So figuring out the organizations and how we can balance those things has helped.
Absolutely.
And then I think a challenge that we have this year that I don't know that's been brought up is one of the things we don't think about is that we have to know turkey numbers, early in the year, February or March. And there's been a big cost adjustment potentially that we're looking at. And so there's the potential of having to either raise more money or have a different solution for turkeys as to how that happens. And so that's part of making a much bigger focus, I think, earlier in the year, such as being on the radio here and talking to everybody and having the gala.
And having at least 1 or 2 or 3 more people to hear about us. That's what it takes, because then word of mouth goes out to other people to let them know about us. As big as we've gotten, we still run across people all the time that say, "Oh, really? What is Sue's Turkey Drive?" So I appreciate this opportunity to be able to tell people about what the Turkey Drive is and get them as excited as we are, either as far as for donations or for volunteering.
Absolutely.
So one other thing, if I could add to, one of the things that we talk about is Turkey Drive. We are gathering donations to be able to buy meals and whatnot, and I wanted to let everybody know that that meal is the full meal deal as much as we can do it. It is the potatoes and onions and apples. It's stuffing. It is vegetables, it's gravy packets, it's margarine, of course the turkey, and stuffing. I think, did I say stuffing?
Might have said stuffing. But this is a lot of food.
It is a lot of food.
It really is.
It'll feed a family of 4 to 5, we believe, for that night with leftovers.
Yep.
And that's our goal, is to make sure that they've got that food through the weekend if possible.
Okay, ladies, thank you. Let's hear some commercials, pay the bills for Alcon Media, and then we'll be back in just a moment.
Toda la emoción del Mundial 2026 a través de La Ranchera, Radio Lobo y la Gran X.
Se vive en la intensidad del fútbol.
Alcon Media te presenta el Mundial 2026. La emoción de México, Canadá y Estados Unidos. Y todos los partidos solamente a través de Alcon Media y sus estaciones afiliadas. No te lo pierdas. El Mundial FIFA 2026 a través de Alcon Media.
¡Eso! ¿Necesitas servicio?
Dejes que otros opinen por ti. En esa época, vota por nosotros. La Gran X, 94.1 y 104.9, Latino Mix.
Hello, this is Ann Jordan. I'm here with Connecting Community, and we have our guests today of Sue and Sydney, and they are on the board of Cherrymore Charities, and their main event is Sue's Turkey Drive with a newly added annual gala. They have a fundraiser called Giving of Thanks Gala that is May 30th, which they are talking turkey with us today, and we are learning about the impact Sue's Turkey Drive has in the community, and the reason for the gala is to allow everyone to talk turkey year-round. So ladies, let's kind of recap what the dates are for the events, how they find you, what does that all look like?
If you want to go on to suesturkeydrive.org, that is suesturkeydrive.org, you can find all the information out about the gala, the Giving of Thanks Gala, as Ann mentioned. It is May 30th. The doors open at 5 o'clock. Tickets are available on the website. So we would love to have you join us.
There's a full Thanksgiving meal, live band, silent auction, so lots of fun to be had.
And the prices do adjust at the end of March.
Yes, so get in while you can for either individual tickets or getting a table, whether that's a group of you and your friends want to get in on a table all together, or an organization that may want to purchase a table. We've got those available, as well as the individual ticket seats.
And if there's any businesses out there that want to sponsor, they can also reach you through the website. And there's a Facebook page.
Yes, we've got our Facebook page, Sue's Turkey Drive, and all the information and links to the website and everything are there as well.
And they can look through that Facebook page and the website to some degree and see pictures of years past.
Absolutely. If you want to get a really good idea of what it looks like, take a minute and go on to the Facebook page and take a look at those pics. It'll really bring it into a full circle moment for you to know exactly what it is we do and how many hands and people it takes to get it done.
It really is a lot of food, and so going into each year, I feel like I forget, and then I look around and see the Grange Hall is just full. It feels, wall to wall with everything. So we've really got that building as packed as we can.
Got it dialed in, I think. Yeah.
So it sounds great, ladies. And the people who are served with this is the Greater Tri-Cities community.
Tri-Cities area, and then some a little bit, so out to Prosser, Mapton, Walla Walla area. So the goal being to be as close to home as possible, but also understanding that the need does spread out a little bit from there. And while it's not technically Tri-Cities, we're considered the big city for most of those places, which it's still weird thinking of this area as a bigger city.
I mean, we consider Seattle a hub, but we're the only ones that are down here in this portion of Washington. So I guess, yeah, Tri-Cities is a hub.
Yeah.
Yep. So we try to serve our greater Tri-Cities area the best that we can.
And what is served is a Thanksgiving meal, and it is provided to the organizations. And there was how many schools, Sue, do you remember?
We had 27, I believe, schools and communities and schools, plus 7 other individual schools that were all involved in a portion of those organizations, yeah.
35 schools, meals went out through, plus different organizations such as Safe Harbor, My Friends, Meals on Wheels.
Domestic Violence, Boys and Girls Club, American Legion, St. Vincent de Paul, Salvation Army. Oh my goodness, yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
It's a long list.
Initiative.
Sparkle Initiative.
Yes, Sparkle Initiative.
So
Gotta
we are
put them in
here
there
on
too.
behalf of Sparkle Initiative, and they became new partners with us as they were growing and learning last year. And so that was amazing to watch them be able to bless the community and us join together. They were looking at doing a turkey drive themselves, and we were able to help them bless more people. So that was wonderful to watch.
Yep.
The new groups join. So if someone wants to become a recipient organization, how would they connect with Sue's Turkey Drive?
I would say go on to the Facebook page. You can send us a message, or you can go on to suesturkeydrive.org. There's opportunities on both of those for you to contact us, either by phone, by email, message. We're here.
And in the past, the average meal cost was approximately how much?
It's been $25 historically. We're hoping to keep it right around $25. For $25, you're going to feed a family of 4 to 5 for a weekend, a full Thanksgiving meal.
We're looking at, with inflation, that number may be increasing, which is why we're putting such a big effort, I believe, into fundraising this year.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Turkeys have gone up quite a bit this year. The normal size of turkey that we get isn't quite available anymore.
Right. The availability's changed.
And the cost of turkey per pound has gone up. So we're just trying to make sure, realistically, my guesstimate is it's going to be closer to the 25 to 30 range per meal realistically this year. So we're trying to get everything as low cost as we possibly can, just to make sure that we're able to serve as many people as we can. But at the same time, there is only so much that we can do, and with how much things do cost nowadays.
Right.
So we're looking at raising more funds, getting more volunteers, and having everybody come to the gala. So again, the gala is May 30th.
Correct.
And the sign up for that is at suesturkeydrive.org, and on the Facebook page, you can click into it there also.
Right.
Okay. And we look forward to having everybody there. So let's send out a last message, lady. We have just a few minutes. What do you want to say to the community as your send off?
The thing that sticks with me, and I've said many times because you guys have heard me say it, is that I've never lived in a community that's as giving as what I have found the Tri-Cities to be. And just knowing that, and based on that, you guys have come forward and helped us and made these goals possible every year, and we just need your help to be able to do that again this year. As Ann said, the prices have gone up a little bit, and we're going to have to make some kind of an adjustment, and that just means that we just need a little bit more help. So if you're out there and you're a business who's looking for a reason to make a difference in this community, we're here. We would love to have your help. We would love to have you involved, whether it would be coming to the gala or it would be to make that donation and become one of our sponsors. Yeah, we need you, and we thank you.
And I just want to say thank you to the community, because like Sue said, I'm born and raised Tri-Citian, so I don't have quite as much of the perspective on it, but I still can see, just from an objective standpoint, that the Tri-Cities has been such a giving area, and that is, time, treasure, talent are usually the way that people are able to give, and we see that in a variety of different ways, where people who have different talents being able to come on to the turkey drive and come into our committee and really change things up or improve things, as well as people just donating their time, not only at the event, but the committee itself throughout the entire year. And then, of course, treasure those monetary donations. We couldn't do it without those. But also there is a way for everyone to give, no matter how that is, and we really do see that in how much we are given. It really is incredible, and one of the things we haven't talked so much about is that while a lot of the meal is purchased, a lot of the more produce items are actually donated by local farms, and so we wouldn't be able to do it without that assistance, at least not to the extent that we are, and it wouldn't feel like quite the full meal if it weren't for those gives that we get as well.
Amazing. So we have Sue and Sydney here with Cherry More Charities. They are on the board, and their main event is in November, Sue's Turkey Drive. However, they have popped up a Giving of Thanks Gala, which is May 30th. They have tickets available, and they're currently at the most affordable pricing through March. You can find those tickets either on their Facebook page, Sue's Turkey Drive, and or at suesturkeydrive.org on their website. So ladies, thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate that, and we are with Connecting Community. This is Ann Jordan, and we are learning about our local nonprofits. We are learning who they serve, why they exist, and how we as a community can step up and help them. And I know one of the things about Sue's Turkey Drive is it's many hands, there's donations of $25, there's sponsorships of $5,000, but every penny counts and helps put a meal with a family or with someone so that we can have a community event in Thanksgiving and that we have a shared meal across the community. So thank you, ladies, for being part of connecting our community together.
La Gran X Latino Mix.